Hi everyone and welcome to my studio. So over my Patreon channel we've been having a lot of fun painting juicy red tomatoes on the vine, and that approach is very much a loose approach, and I do share how to create those perfect circular shapes as well. So that's a beautiful tutorial, and I'm treating my patrons because they're having two tutorials, but I'm also treating you guys because I'm going to share the warm-up tutorial with you, which is one juicy tomato, however you pronounce it. If you're from the northwest of England like I am, it's tomato, plural. But no matter how you pronounce it, we're going to be painting the same thing. So if you're enjoying these tutorials, then do check out my Patreon channel. There's so much on offer there, no contract whatsoever. You can jump in and out however often you like. Are you ready? Go grab those brushes and let's paint a big red juicy tomato. So here are the materials we're going to be using to paint this juicy tomato. I've got a piece of Saunders Waterford here. I'm going to be using a little bit of Windsor Yellow. You can change that, or completely up to you. I'm going to be using ultramarine blue. Again, try any blue. I'm going to be using Cadmium Red. Now, actually it's the Selenium Red, but it's very similar to Cadmium Red. Any juicy dark red would be lovely for the tomatoes. And one of my favourites is the green gold. And I'm going to be using a size 8 round, and I've got my size 2 little mop brush there. And there we go. Let's jump right in. So let's jump right in, and you can see I've got the drawing down, and I will provide that drawing for you. And we need to think about the light really, don't we, on this subject? The light is coming right from this top half here. And most of the tomato is quite light at the top here, and then we can see when we're looking at the values how it goes from light to medium to very dark. So they are things we need to keep in mind. Now I'm going to start off just by putting a little bit of the yellow, because although I want it to be light at the top, I also want to have a little bit of yellow just kind of peeping through that red. So I'll keep it nice and subtle. I'm going to come down and add a little bit of red now. And we're working from light to dark, so we don't have to be too dark at this stage. We can put that red in and let it melt into that yellow. Just like that. Bring it up on this side. A little bit more up here. Very much aware that, you know, it's so easy, isn't it, to kind of paint the whole thing. And I know it looks odd, doesn't it, at this point. But believe me, it'll work. I'm just going to squeeze some water out of my brush. Just lift a little bit of that away. A little bit of that. And there we go. That's our first wash down. And actually that does us a favour now, because what we can do is we can put the green in while we're waiting for this to dry. That lovely green gold that I'm obsessed with. I used to be such a stickler for mixing your own greens, and I've kind of come round to the way of thinking why, when you've got so many beautiful alternatives that you can use. Okay, we need to think about light on this as well. We'll start with this one. This one doesn't have much light, so we can go right in with our smaller brush here and just put that lovely green shape in. The light seems to catch this section, doesn't it? So I'm going to come down and then lose that. A bit of water always helps as well, just to soften it away a little bit. Working my way around. I'll have some on this, and again I'm going to stop myself here and just add a bit of water. Oh, too much green. Just to keep that section a little bit lighter. Bit of water. It's dark on this side, isn't it? It's dark, and then it gets lighter as it comes across into that section, so I'll just leave that as a line. Now, I know in the photograph this doesn't happen what I'm about to do now, but I like to do this for colour continuity. So I'm going to take a little bit of that red and I'm going to drop it. Ooh, just on those edges a little bit. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, I've done one. I may as well do a few more. Pushing it back into that wet paint. Got a bit of a run there, but all is good. I'm just going to pop a little bit of green into that section as well. And there comes a point, doesn't there, when I have to put the brush down, and this is that stage now where you really do need to be patient and let it dry. So let's go in with a stronger red now. So wetting my brush and making this mixture a little bit darker and thicker than the previous one. And you'll see that when you put it down, look. It's much darker, isn't it? Big brush is helpful because you get to fill in quite a lot of surface area. So instead of using my 8, go for a big brush. It doesn't half help you out really, because like I've just said, you can fill in so much surface area very quickly without getting too stressed about it. Let's bring that red up a bit more. I'm going to bring some up into that section as well. Now here is where I want to try and softening it off a little bit. So I've got to add some water, so I'm going to clean my brush a little bit. I'm going to tip my paper that way. I'm just softening those edges. A little bit more water. And it is going to run down into the bottom here, and if you go too much, then just lift it away. It's all good. I may even come in and just make that a little bit darker as well. And it is about patience really, isn't it? Because there's not a lot we can do here, but I have noticed I've got a bit of a hard line. So again, just a thirsty brush. I'm just going to push that brush along that edge just to smooth it out a little bit, so it goes from light, little hint of yellow, lighter red into the darker red. Now, while we're waiting, we can do another job. We can go back into the greens. So I'm going to introduce the ultramarine blue now, just a little bit of that. That's going to give us a darker green. Or, if you want to be lazy, you could always mix your own green, couldn't you? A darker green with a yellow and a blue. I mean, the yellow and the blue would probably make a lovely green, but we've started with the green gold, so I'm going to continue with it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that green gold, a little bit of that ultramarine blue. That's giving me a stronger, darker green. So now we have to look about where the light's catching them, and I can see very clearly that this centre one here is darker. So I'm going to pop in some dark. I'm going to clean my brush, and I know it seems wasteful, but it isn't, because it just gives you that lovely soft edge that you're looking for. I know it's horrible kind of wasting paint, isn't it? Wasting paint, putting it in your water and swishing all that lovely paint away that you've paid an absolute fortune for. I kind of get it, but it's so helpful just to wash your brush, especially when you want to soften off an area like that one. Cleaning my brush, there's plenty of water on it now. I'm just adding water so it softens it away. Oh, okay. What about this middle section here? That could do with a bit more dark, couldn't it? So I'm going along the edge. I'm going to clean my brush. I'm just going to soften again. So we've got that light underneath, and we've still got that lovely light hitting this section on that top right hand side. We can put a little bit more dark into the edge of that one. And oh, this one's nice and dark, isn't it? So we can put that lovely curve in here. Then as it comes round, it becomes lighter. And of course this is the same. The light's hitting the top, so the side is very much a darker value. Bit of water in that just to soften it away. Now I've noticed something that I want to sort out right now, and it's this section here. I'd like a touch of red into that. I can just see a little bit of the tomato here, and I know it should be a light, but just a tiny touch, just to let your viewer know that those leaves or stalks or stems are sitting in front. I can just add a little bit more there. It's just a subtle little thing, but I think it's going to make a lot of difference. Now, it's that time again, isn't it? Go and get yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, come back, let's crack on. So I was patient, grabbed myself a coffee, and we're ready to go again. Let's think about the shadows now. I mean, we're going to come in and make these a little bit greener anyway, the greens, but I want us to think about the reds and how we're going to create that lovely shadow that you can see in the photograph. So I am going to take my red again, and I'm going to take a tiny bit of that blue. And that's just going to knock it back ever so slightly to a darker green. Okay, so let's start on this side. So here we can see underneath the green here, we do have a lovely little shadow. So I'm going to put it in with the red, and then it follows the shape, doesn't it, of that tomato. It's following the shape of it. It's a little bit thicker than that as well, so I'm going to make mine a little bit thicker. Doesn't have to be exactly right. Let's put this one in now. So we're coming in here, bringing that red down underneath, and then bringing that down into that shape, like so. Now what I'm going to do with these two now is I'm going to wet my brush again, so it's nice and drippy wet, and I'm going to just soften, add some water to that, just soften it, so it begins to kind of soften at those edges. So it's harsher here, stronger here, and it gets less as it comes down. So we're just softening off again really, aren't we? I have gone quite deep with that shadow, but it's in there now, so I'm not going to mess with it. One here, a nice one. Look, and this one is lovely because it kind of comes round like that, doesn't it? And down, and then it kind of blends into the rest of that tomato. And we've got a very faint one just coming up from that section as well. I'm going to wet my brush again, just adding that water, softening away, and letting that melt into this area here. It's beginning to become alive, isn't it? I'm just going to soften that little bit as well. I mean, in fact, it's quite important to let you know this. I'm using the Da Vinci, and it's a synthetic brush, and it's really good for lifting out as well. If I'm using the sable, or a genuine hairbrush like this one, a squirrel or whatever, it's not that easy. Synthetic, you really kind of dig in there, so you're very much able to lift paint away and move paint around and manipulate it with a brush that's synthetic. Saying that, I'm going to put that brush down and come with my big one because we're going to be brave. Are you ready? Right, we're going to take that red mixture again. Let's add a bit more red into that. Let's bring that now all the way down. That's still wet as well, so that's quite handy, but you can wait for it to dry. It's all good. Bringing that round. Now you know what I'm going to do now. You know I'm going to soften this away a little bit, don't you? So I'm cleaning my brush. I'm just adding more water and softening that down, like so. Now, are you ready to be even braver? We're going to put a shadow in. So I'm going to take the ultramarine blue. Let's hope it's nice and clean because it's mixed in there with the green, isn't it? And we don't want that. We want it to be lovely and blue. Ready? Pop that in. We can pop a little bit underneath. We can come quite high on this side if we want to. I'm going to unclip my paper as well because I can't really soften off at this point because that paint, the red paint, is still very much wet. So I'm just gonna let that just float up a little bit. Let's just add a bit more red to that and let it merge. That's what we're looking for. I'm tipping my paper, tipping it, letting gravity do that work. My board's on an angle, so everything is running down this way. So with something like this, it's pretty handy just to move your paper in that direction. Are you ready to be even braver? I'm going to get some more ultramarine because I haven't got much there, look. A bit more. I'm just going to take a bit more red into that. I don't like the shape that I've got here, so I'm just correcting that a little bit. I'm going to put some of that blue in there as well. Right, we've got the blue. Nice big puddle of that. Now we know it's wet here, so we can go into that, can't we? But what we can do is use our brush just to pull that shadow out. And that shadow is connecting to this shape. That's what you're looking for. We'll have a little tiny little smidge there, look. But the reds are running into that blue as well. In fact, you can even take some of that red if you like and just drop it into that shape. That's quite a nice thing to do. I'm going to let mine dry because I want to add some final details at the top and I don't want to be putting my hand up into that wet paint, so let's be patient. So we're at the final stage now. We just need a few little details and that's just going to involve our small brush and some ultramarine blue. So I'm going to take the blue and let's make this centre stalk a little bit darker. So we'll give it more shape and form by adding a darker blue, just a line. You know what I'm going to do in a minute, don't you? You know I'm going to clean my brush and just add some water along that edge, look. And that's really helpful, isn't it? Just to show us that cylindrical feel. Okay, a little bit more dark, I think, in some of these leaves. So the light's coming from the top, but it's giving us a lovely kind of dark value here. Just looking for those lovely little bits and bobs that we can just add to. A bit more blue in that section as well. More blue here and underneath. So I'm not going over the reds, by the way. I'm just popping it underneath the kind of leaf shape. This is the green shape. I'm not sure what they're called. I'm just adding that little dark. It's like the icing on the cake, isn't it? Just adding those few final little darks. And obviously, you know, you need someone to tell you to put the brush down sometimes, don't you? And I am nearing that stage. Of course, you could take this further, couldn't you? You could add lots of splatters in the background. You could put some value against these sides here to make them really stand out. But I think for now, my tomato is looking great. So I'm going to stop. And I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoy following along as well. Don't make it too difficult for yourself. You know, I know a big brush is scary, but you really can fill in quite a lot of surface area with it, and it makes your life a lot easier. And then you can come down to the small brush. There we go. Thank you for watching. I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing that with you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.